Welcome back, you guys, to our deep dive into To Kill a Mockingbird.
It's great to be back.
So we are smack dab in the middle of the trial.
We are.
And the tension is like you can cut it with a knife.
Oh, yeah.
It's palpable.
Yeah.
And we are getting ready for some serious detective work because today we're focusing on the testimonies of Hecate and Bob Ewell.
All right.
And trust me, things get really interesting.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So we start with Hecate, who usually, is like this big, scary figure to Scout.
Right.
But he's all cleaned up today.
Yeah, he's in a suit and tie.
He's in a suit and tie.
Scout describes him as almost ordinary.
Yeah, and it just kind of shows how the context shapes our perceptions of people because he's not wearing that uniform.
Exactly.
So he's not coming across as like this figure of authority.
Right, he's just another witness.
Right.
Subject to the same scrutiny as anyone else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I like that.
it's a good point.
It makes you think.
So getting into like his actual testimony, he lays out the basic facts.
Yeah.
He got a call to the Ewell house. He found Mayella beaten, and she accused Tom Robinson. Pretty straightforward. But then Atticus steps in with a question that really casts a long shadow over the whole thing.
Oh, here we go.
Why wasn't a doctor called?
Right.
And I think that's just such a brilliant legal strategy.
It is.
Because it plants the seed of doubt.
It does.
Like, were Mayella's injuries really that severe?
Right.
If she was really in danger?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they call a doctor right away?
It seems like that would be the first thing on your mind.
Exactly.
Right, if your daughter's hurt
Yeah.
or,
You would call the doctor.
you would call a doctor.
Yeah, and there's also this other detail that comes out, that Mayella's right eye was blackened.
Okay.
Now that seems minor,
Yeah.
but I have a feeling
Oh.
we're going to come back to this later.
I love that Harper Lee does that.
I know.
Just drops these little details.
She does.
That seem insignificant,
Yeah,
but they always come back.
they always come back.
Yeah.
And speaking of things coming back, let's talk about Bob Ewell.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, here we go.
This guy is a character.
Oh, yeah.
Scout describes him with the shock of newly washed hair, which is so strange because the rest of him
Right, the rest of him is just
is a mess.
a mess.
It's like he just decided to wash his hair for the trial.
Right, exactly.
So
Yeah, it's so interesting how she does that.
it is.
Uses these vivid descriptions
Yes.
to paint a picture
Totally.
of this man who is just
Yeah.
both pathetic and kind of scary.
Yeah, in his home.
Oh, yeah.
Just as bad as he is.
It's terrible.
Scout describes it as a playhouse of an insane child, which I think is just the perfect description because it's just littered with junk and debris.
Right. And, I think it's a reminder of
Yeah.
how different their life is
Yeah.
from the rest of Macomb.
Yeah, it really highlights that social divide.
Totally.
But there is one bright spot
Oh, yeah.
amidst all the squalor,
Tell me.
and that is these bright red geraniums.
The geraniums. I love those.
I know, they're just bursting with life
Yeah.
in these chipped enamel slop jars.
It's a beautiful contrast.
It is.
Isn't it?
It's like this little symbol of hope in this otherwise bleak landscape.
It really is.
Yeah.
Maybe a hint of Mayella,
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
But that spark of hope is quickly extinguished when Bob Ewell takes the stand. His testimony is explosive.
Okay.
It's full of racist language and accusations, and it just ignites the entire courtroom.
Really?
He even points dramatically at Tom Robinson and shouts,
What does he say?
"That black nigger yonder."
Oh my goodness.
It's just chilling.
Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, it really exposes that undercurrent of racism
Right.
that's permeating Macomb.
Yeah, and it's so calculated too.
It is.
Like he's playing to the fears of the jury.
Yeah, he's playing to the audience.
Right, exactly.
And it's working.
Yeah.
So the courtroom erupts,
Okay.
and Jim leans over to Scout and whispers,
Yeah.
"We've got him."
He thinks they got him.
He's so sure of Tom Robinson's guilt at this point.
Yeah.
But even Scout's like, wait a minute.
She's not so sure. I love Scout.
Me too.
She's so smart
So smart.
for her age.
Yeah, and I think it just goes to show that things are rarely as straightforward as they seem.
Especially in a case like this.
Yeah, especially in Macomb.
Yeah.
So that's where Atticus comes in.
All right, Atticus.
Ready to dismantle Ewell's whole story piece by piece.
Okay.
And he starts by focusing on Ewell's actions that night. He's like, so you ran to the house, you ran to the window, you ran to get Hecate,
Yeah.
but you never ran to get a doctor. Why is that?
Right.
And it's just brilliant.
It is.
Because it shows that Yule's priority was not Mayella's well-being.
Exactly.
It was just getting Tom Robinson accused.
Right.
Yeah, and then Atticus throws this curveball.
What does he do?
He asks Yule if he can read and write,
Okay.
which seems totally random.
Yeah.
But Yule's like, yeah, I most positively can.
Of course he does.
Of course he does.
Mr. Yule.
Yeah, and Atticus is like, okay, I want you to write your name on this piece of paper.
Right.
And Yule, being Yule,
Yeah.
just scrawls his signature.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Judge Taylor notices that he wrote with his left hand.
Oh.
And Atticus jumps on this.
Okay.
And he points out that this contradicts Yule's earlier testimony, where he implied that he was right-handed.
Right.
So the implication is like,
Oh.
if Yule's left-handed,
Yeah.
couldn't he have been the one who hit Mayella?
Especially on the right side of her face.
Especially on the right side of her face.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It is.
Like this subtle way of shifting the narrative.
Yeah. He doesn't directly accuse him,
Right.
but he puts it out there.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder.
And Jem is ecstatic.
Yes.
He thinks they got him.
We got it.
But Scout being Scout
Yeah.
raises a really important question.
Oh, what is it?
She's like, well, couldn't Tom Robinson be left-handed too?
Oh.
And on that cliffhanger,
That's a good one.
I know.
Ooh. I can't wait to see what happens next.
I know.
It's just amazing how those little details, like those red geraniums, just stick with you.
They do.
Makes you think about Mayella
It really does.
in a different light.
Yeah, like maybe there's more to than meets the eye.
Right.
And then we have Atticus focusing on Yule's dominant hand.
Oh, yeah. Why do you think he went down that road?
Oh, it just seems like such a classic Atticus move.
Yeah.
Very subtle,
Yeah.
but very strategic.
Uh-huh.
By bringing up that Yule is left-handed,
Right.
he's kind of challenging the prosecution's whole case.
Totally.
Because if Mayella's injuries
Yeah.
point to a left-handed attacker,
Mm-hmm.
then Yule himself becomes a suspect.
Exactly.
It's like he's not directly accusing Yule,
Right.
but he's planting that seed of doubt.
Uh-huh. And it makes you rethink the whole thing.
It does.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, like what really happened that night. It's brilliant.
Oh, smart.
But Jem's over the moon.
He thinks they got him.
He's like, we got him. This is it. We won.
Yeah.
But Scout,
Oh, Scout.
bless her heart.
What does she say?
She's like, hold on a second. What if Tom Robinson is left-handed too?
Oh.
And it just throws everything into question.
It does.
It's like she's the voice of reason.
Yeah, she's always thinking.
Always thinking.
Yeah, and it makes us think too.
It does.
Like, are we so quick to believe you
Right.
that we haven't even considered that?
Yeah,
It's like
some-
she's holding up a mirror to our own biases.
It's true.
You know?
And it's a good reminder to always question everything,
Yeah.
even when it seems obvious.
Especially when it seems obvious.
Yeah, before we get too caught up in like the whodunit of it all,
Yeah.
we got to talk about the impact of Yule's outburst in the courtroom.
Oh, yeah. That was intense.
It was like he just turned this calm legal proceeding into this spectacle of hate.
Yeah, it was scary.
And it just shows how deeply ingrained prejudice is in Maycomb.
Right, and he's using it to his advantage.
Oh, absolutely. He's playing to the fears of the jury
Yeah.
and to the crowd.
And it's working.
Sadly, it is.
Yeah.
And it's just heartbreaking to see how easily public opinion can be swayed by that kind of hate.
It is.
And it just makes you realize that this trial is about so much more than just Tom Robinson.
It is. It's about Maycomb.
Yeah, like can justice actually prevail in a place like this?
Right, where people are so quick to judge
Exactly.
based on race.
And it's in these moments that Atticus's integrity shines through even more.
Yeah.
He's like this beacon of hope,
He is.
refusing to let fear and prejudice dictate the trial.
He's a good man.
He is, but we haven't even heard from Mayella yet.
Oh, that's right.
And I have a feeling
Oh.
her testimony is going to be a game changer.
I bet it is.
It's like we're standing on the edge of a cliff,
Oh. Yeah.
waiting for the ground to crumble beneath us.
What's she gonna say?
What is she going to say?
How's her story gonna line up with what we've heard
Right.
or not?
And will we be able to see the truth through all the lies and the prejudice?
Good question.
It's going to be intense.
I can't wait.
Okay, so we've heard from Hecate, we've heard from Bob Ewell, and Atticus has done a pretty good job of poking holes in their story.
Yeah, he's been busy.
But there's one person we haven't heard from yet,
Yeah, who's that?
Mayella Ewell.
Oh, right.
And I think her testimony is going to be the most like emotionally charged part of this whole trial
Yeah, I can see that.
because her story is really at the center of everything.
Right?
But it's important to remember that,
Like that.
Mayella is also like a victor of her circumstances.
Yeah.
I mean, she's trapped in this cycle of poverty and abuse.
Right, and you gotta wonder how much of her testimony is gonna be influenced by that.
Yeah, like, is she going to be afraid to tell the truth?
Yeah.
Or is she going to lie to protect herself or her family?
Right, or maybe even just say what she thinks people want to hear.
Exactly.
It's tough to say.
It is, and it's a good reminder that this trial is about so much more than just what happened that night.
Yeah, it's about all the stuff that led up to it.
Right, it's about the social forces that shape people's lives.
The power dynamics.
The prejudice.
The whole system.
Exactly.
And that's what makes To Kill a Mockingbird so powerful.
It is.
It makes you think about these big issues.
Yeah, it challenges your own beliefs.
It makes you uncomfortable.
And I think that's a good thing.
I agree.
So as we continue our deep dive into this story,
Yeah.
I just want to encourage everyone to keep asking those tough questions, to challenge your own assumptions, and to be open to the possibility that the truth might be more complicated than you think.
Right, because it usually is.
It usually is. So
Yeah.
this has been a fascinating look at just one chapter of To Kill a Mockingbird.
It has.
And it's amazing how much we can learn from just one little piece of the story.
Yeah, it's all connected.
But as we know, the trial's not over yet.
Oh, no.
There's still a lot more to come.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens.
Me neither.
Yeah.
So until next time, keep reading, keep exploring, and keep diving deep into the stories that matter.